specialist that comes, you could, if you stick around until Friday, we could work you in.
Lots of drugs? I don't think my insurance would cover it. I have to go home to make sure. My travel insurance wouldn't. Okay, so let's get going. So, why don't we see ourselves the way our customers do?
We said because we tend not to see our own faults, the things that we're doing differently, and that people tend to elevate healthcare people on a pedestal. They think of all of us kind of sometimes on the same level and being smart and knowing more than we usually do, and they don't see us as real people.
Okay. Interesting. I think too, in terms of perception, is that we come to work and we're the professionals. We do our job, right? And we're doing all of these things. They're sitting there scared, vulnerable, in pain, sick, and with the sense of no control. So we know what we're doing, but they don't necessarily know what they're doing. And believe they don't know if we're killing them or curing them. They only know if their dinner's not the right temperature. Right? Or the perception, very careful here, my use of word, the perception that housekeeping hasn't cleaned their room properly. I was in a hospital where you could eat off the floor anywhere. It was just unbelievable. And they got really crappy housekeeping scores. It did not make sense. So they went and asked the patients, how would you score us? And why are you rating? Why are we rating poorly? And what they discovered was that this is an older hospital where 2 rooms shared a bathroom. So in one room, there was no patient in one room. The housekeeper would go in that room, clean the bathroom, come out, and then go into the room that was occupied, knock on the door, come to clean the room. But the housekeeper was never seen in the bathroom cleaning. And they did that to inconvenience them less. It was their thought process. But to raise patient satisfaction scores, they had to inconvenience them more. And as soon as they started knocking on the door, and they did nothing different, the score shot through the roof. But again, it's all perception, right? The perception was they never cleaned the bathroom, or they only cleaned the bathroom once in a while. Anyway, why don't customers bother to complain?
We put that they don't want to cause additional problems,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're afraid that if they do complain, that nothing will change.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sometimes afraid that if they complain, that they won't be taken seriously about their complaints.
Or maybe even retaliation. Oh, the rustling needle this time! And I don't know what the experience is of the nurses in the room, or all of you in the room, but my experience with my late mother was the older they get, the more paranoid they get in that respect. That they just don't say nothing. You're not going to care for me anymore, they're going to kick me out, and I've got stories.
Generation thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, because the doctor was gone.
That's why they were raised.
Yeah. Doctor was gone. You don't dare question. I remember taking my mother in the last 6 months of her life. I just shut my business down and just because I needed to understand what was happening. Taking her to the doctor, and she gave me heck the whole way. Don't you dare ask him. He's gonna get mad. He's not gonna treat me anymore. Blah. I said, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever, sure. So take her to the doctor. She goes in. He examines her. He comes out. He says, Mr. Bear, would you like to come in for a minute? I said, yeah. I said, I really would. So we sat down and he said, Mr. Bear, do you have any questions? I said, doctor, as a matter of fact, I do. I'll tell you, it looks good kill. I would have died 6 months before my mother did. But I wasn't questioning it. I just needed to understand. He was very kind and very understanding and explained things to me. And I felt, you never feel good, but you realize when you leave, based on the questions and the demeanor and everything else, that mom's getting the absolute best care that you could have got. But she was furious. Furious. But perceptions, right? And that's what we're fighting. So finally, why is it important to really get to know your customers?
We said that the patients feel as if they could express their complaints and stuff. And then we could meet the patient's needs easier. If they need additional medical assistance, we could help refer them on to whatever they did need, and then make sure that they feel valued.
Mm-hmm. And it makes them feel loved. The bottom line is when they rate us on the surveys, are they really rating us on the care that they're getting or on the caring that they're getting? Right? Very subjective. So here's the fourth question. I don't know if this is easier. Well, not quite. Oh, why customers leave? So why do customers leave? Well, 1% die. I did a program like this once with a group of morticians, and they pointed out to me that all of their customers were dead.
Easy to satisfy.
Yeah. Surgeons, on the other hand, on a 1% mortality rate, probably don't sleep nights and are worried about their insurance premiums. 3% move away. Excuse me. 5% develop other friendships. 9% leave for competitive reasons. 14% are dissatisfied with your product or service, but here is the killer as far as I'm concerned. 68% quit because of an attitude of indifference toward the customer by an employee. So just ask yourself, has that ever happened to you? Where you got so ticked off at some place that you're never going to go back? Several in my book. One, interestingly enough, is a very large Home Depot type home supply thing. It's a Canadian company, but it was bought out now recently by Lowe's. So we're hoping that maybe Lowe's will kick some people in the pants, bring up the standards. But I won't shop there because it's just an attitude of indifference. You can never find staff. They're surly to you, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the aggravated money to go someplace where these people are friendly. Who cares? Anyway. We need to understand that, but it's the attitude of indifference that scares people away. So, here's the most important question in my mind. What do we expect as customers? So when we go to the hospital, we go to the grocery store, we go to the bank, we go wherever. What do we expect as customers when we go out to spend our hard-earned money? We'll give you a minute or two to talk with your buddies, and we'll see what you have to say. You want a minute or two?
Everyone, I'm having Vince run a few things over that we needed. Do you guys need anything else that you want me to run over? I had lids, cups, and paper towels.
Does he bring coffee?
We need more coffee? I will ask him. Thank you.
It's out.
Okay.
I just value your things. Yeah, I was originally, but I was thinking. I can't stand it when I hear other, like, nurses or doctors or professionals, like, because I think less intelligent, like, I don't know, like, sort of me, I don't grammar and stuff like that. It means the same, whether it should be or not, you know, it correlates with intelligence, and if you're in a position where you're supposed to know stuff, it just makes you feel like you're
So, this is one of the few things I flip chart. I just want to point something out about this flip chart. This flip chart is the most technologically advanced flip chart in the entire world. Why do I say that? Because you can see in the lower right-hand corner, anything on this flip chart is automatically properly spelled because it's got built-in spell check. Now, if you think a word's spelled wrong and you don't buy that, it's the Canadian spelling. And we do have some diff color has a U in Canada, as does flavor of behavior and some other weird differences. If you believe neither of those lousy excuses, Mark Twain once wrote, "Never trust a person who can only spell a word one way." You will be amazed at how trustworthy I truly am. I also have horrible penmanship, so I don't do a lot of flip charting. But let's just talk a little bit about the technical things of a flip chart, because this is probably a good time to do that. Flip chart paper is relatively inexpensive. So I don't like flip chart a lot, but I do. So when you're flip charting, when I first started to do this, someone said to me, you know, when you're flip charting, it's very impolite to do this, to turn your back to the audience. You should never do that. So he said to me, think about you're dancing with your wife. I said, okay, you've got to connect some dots here for me. He said, sort of, you know, put your hand in the back of the flip chart like this. He said, and just right like this. He said, you are sort of turning your back to the audience, but because you're doing kind of a little bit of a twist, it doesn't look like you're putting it back to the audience. All about perception. The other thing is, if you are sort of standing in front, don't go too low on the flip chart page, especially if you're tall, because what could happen accidentally is when you're doing that and you pick up the audience what I like to call a plumber's smile. That and four nipples, there's some images for today that I hope that weren't your top two. But anyway, so just a few hints on flip charting. And we'll talk a little bit more about flip charting tomorrow. So what do you expect as customers? When you walk into your whatever store, bank, it doesn't matter, what do you expect as customers?
Friendly.
Friendly. What else?
Greeted.
Do you want to be greeted? Welcome to Walmart.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Short wait time.
Pardon?
Short wait time.
Short wait time. Or a managed wait time.
Compassion.
Compassion.
Cleanliness.
Clean.
Value.
Value. I'm glad you didn't say price. Because there is a vast difference between value and price. Those places usually not the best.
You want the product. You need stuff that you're going there for, like the grocery store. You want milk.
Okay, so you want everything available.
Yep.
Privacy.
Privacy.
No price check on the internet items.
Let's put that in value. Because if somebody put that down, if somebody saw this on a text, it wouldn't, yeah.
That's not mine. What?
Anything else?
You want to look back at your experience and have a good feeling about
You
it.
want a good feeling? Yeah. So when you get all of this stuff, so you walk, you're friendly, you're greeted, you got confident people, you got a short wait time or a managed wait time, people are compassionate, the place is clean, you're getting great value, the availability, so what you need is there, that you got the privacy to do what you need to do. When you get all this, what does all that add up to? A good experience, not quite what I'm looking for, but you're very close.
I just wrote down personal caring attitude.
Personal caring attitude, not quite what I'm looking for.
Satisfied customer.
Satisfaction, that's what I'm looking for.
Are you guys cold? Like, you're trying to heat up your
Yeah.
I can do it.
Satisfaction, we just want to be satisfied. So interestingly, what's the point of making this list? It's a good reminder. Here's what we value most are the intangibles. Are these tangibles or intangibles? Most of them are intangibles, right? The friendly, the greeted, the confidence, compassion. value, those things are intangibles versus the tangibles. And tangibles are more things like clean, those kinds of things, availability of stuff. But the things that we value the most when we go out as customers are the intangibles. So we have to ask ourselves, who delivers the intangibles to us? The answer is simple. We do. Individually to each resident, family member, and fellow employee. And something, yeah, here we go. All right. Meant to blank that slide. All right. Intangibles. Who delivers the intangibles? We do. Individually to each patient, family member, and fellow employee. The intangibles. Would your customer say that you consistently meet their expectations? Now, is there any one person here who can name 3 places, businesses or companies, that consistently meet their expectations? A lot of us can think of 1 or 2 maybe, but 3? I did this at one time. I gotta share this story. It's just too funny. I did this, and it was right at this point. So I said, so who can name 3 places or companies, blah, 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 and hold on, my liquor store! And I see her, she wasn't at the conference this year, but I've seen her at the conference, and that hasn't changed. It's still #1, so I don't know what the point is. But anyway, I just thought it was hilarious. My liquor store.
Maybe that's her attitude, yes.
Yeah, maybe that's exactly, yeah. But it's very hard to name one person named 3 places. And I've done this in a room of 600 people, and I can't get one person to stand up and rattle 3 off the top of their head. It's very rare that you can find that. So what's the point? You know, don't let the things you can't control interfere with the things you can control, Stephen Covey taught us. So the insights is just consistently need to manage your customers' expectations. And in a world of service mediocrity, you will be a service star. You're either part of the solution or we're part of the problem. And customer satisfaction is a passion for the intangibles. Some more insights. Everybody's got to serve somebody. Thank you, Bob Dylan. And we're either directly serve the patient, family, or customer, or we serve those who serve them. So, how's one way we can drive this? Well, it's about service huddles. So just out of curiosity, how many of you are having consistent service huddles every week in your units?
Yeah.
So 4 out of 9. We'll mention that to your manager.
You all should be doing weekly ones. Yeah, Tanya and I do them.
We've had
And I watch yours.
We're in a department of 3, so it's hard because there's only 2 of us there every day, but we do them every Monday.
Yeah.
And sometimes smaller departments get together with larger departments, or a bunch of small departments get together. But, oh, that's interesting.
I got a question about that while we're on it.
Sure.
Do we have to have everyone there?
No.
Nope.
You
Okay,
do the best you can.
okay.
But in a
If
department,
possible.
yeah, but in a department like nursing, you might have to have multiples during the week because of shifts and stuff. But no, you don't have to have everyone there. You have to have as many as possible
Okay.
there. Because it's impossible to get 100%. I get that.
Jennifer, get back started Thursday.
We're starting tomorrow, okay. That's what Trevor said yesterday anyway.
I'm gonna bring up your response to the Service Access Council. I'm not gonna point fingers or say who put their hands up, because quite frankly, I didn't really notice, but I know it's only about half of you did.
I mean, we do, I just said everything again, sorry. I don't know, can you ask this again?
No, because you know the answer. And, okay, here's what's important. This isn't about getting people into trouble, okay? This isn't about coming down on people, with a claw hammer. This is about a group of managers who said, yes, we will do this. What's the #1 problem in every organization I've ever worked in, ever, in the 18 or 20 years that I've been doing this?
Figuring it out.
Exactly. Getting people to do what they promised to do. Oh, we'll do this. Yes, we will. Till they walk out the door. It drives me crazy.
You want to see the shining examples of the hospitals that I've worked with that have been outrageous successes.